All right, and we are live on the air. The company, July 10th, January, March, April, May, June 10th, June 10th, 2019, and we are back for another slew of topics. A little bit of discussion. Got the panel down here. Got Jay, got Izzo, got Rich, and we have a few things we want to talk about tonight. How's everybody doing?
I am splendid.
Splendid.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Jay, you good?
All the way, man.
Yeah, thanks for the very elaborate answers I got from you guys. Full of words tonight, aren't you?
Yeah,
I mean,
chatty patties.
We're beyond monosyllabic, so
So anyway, okay.
SAT word.
Tonight.
Maybe Richard was one of those 8 people who wanted spelling bee or something.
I mean, knowing what the word means and being able to spell it's two different things.
Oh, who you telling?
Shalom. No. Okay.
Yeah, what's going on, Rich? You all right?
no, I was trying to I twisted my my
Oh,
thing to,
sort of those. Yeah. It'll fall forward. Pause.
So yeah, a few things been going on. Does anybody know what happened with the helicopter situation today?
No, I saw it in the gym. They were saying they don't think it's a terrorist attack and nothing else happened. That's all I saw.
Yeah, I heard they were like evacuating everybody because smoke. There was like more smoke than it should have been.
Yeah. Where did that crane fall? There was a crane that fell through a building.
Man, all type of shit happening this weekend.
That was today.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry about
technically
that.
he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a crane
I'm out
that
of it.
fell. I don't know. Crane collapse. Oh, that was Dallas. Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't New York. I'm like, shit, it was in Dallas.
Everything happens.
Yeah,
in New York.
exactly.
Everything.
Yep. All even in the movies.
Florida, though.
Gotham.
Mm-hmm. All right. So last week we ended the show talking about classism. It was a very, very interesting conversation. We got kind of lit towards the end of the show, so we figured we'd start it over and bring it over into this week and see where we end up. And I think the conversation started with Rich talking about dodgeball, and I think it was the ability for kids to pick who they thought were the biggest, the strongest, the best to be on their teams, and in turn kind of leaving other people out. And I thought that was the beginning of our classism situation that we have an issue with now, with people picking groups and cliques and all that, even into adulthood. If I got that right, that's about where we were.
That's the general gist of it.
General gist of it. Now, is there a good part of the whole separating and finding your cliques and all that? Is there anything that good that comes out of that?
I mean, that's how I found you guys. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say birds of a feather, right?
Yeah.
What you mean?
So I mean,
we all click to some degree.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so I mean, in saying that, it's like the benefit, like-minded people, they kind of just group together. It's just a natural order of things. I think it's just when you are trying to establish some sort of social hierarchy in the process of doing that, just because of a couple of different factors, financial, socioeconomic, racial, the fact that your hair is a certain color. I mean, all of these little factors kind of blend into how we get into classism in and of itself, because I think it's been fairly documented now that the entire thing based around racism in America is all basically rooted back to classism. So I mean, in saying like it's like there's no positive benefit, I mean, I think there definitely is. I think it's until you have some sort of malicious intent, because I mean, there are just some people that you're going to gravitate towards, and if you want to separate and kind of make your own little groups and cliques or whatever, ain't nothing wrong with that. It's until you start thinking you are better than person X because of some sort of social identity.
Well, I think thinking that you're better than somebody, isn't that the root of it? It's like, I'm better than this person. I don't need to hang out with them. That's where it starts. It's always you thinking you're better or better off than another person.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because think about it, there's a group of people here in Raleigh that they all get together and build Gundam kits together, right?
Mhm.
I don't prefer to do that on my Sundays, but I mean that's what they do. And I mean, every so often I've thought about going out and hanging out with them. I was like, I just don't feel like doing it. It's not like I think they're worse. It's just that I'm like, that's just not my cup of tea to spend my Sunday afternoon on a weekly basis to go do something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference in linking up with somebody because you have something in common versus looking at somebody else and saying you're subpar.
Right.
Right. That's two different things.
Yeah, because everybody
So-
can have like not to say a sect or a different set of friends or associates that might be into different things. Like we're all into different things. We all agree we love hip hop, but I'm sure there's other things that we like that some of us aren't into.
As soon as you said that, I was like, how do you think Wu-Tang Clan got together?
Yeah, like I'm not into anime, but I hear y'all talk about it a decent amount. Some people do in
Right.
the group. So it's like that doesn't make me go, oh, y'all fucking weirdos or shit like that.
Well,
Y'all just
not
into
me,
anime and I'm not.
it depends on
If
your
you're into
age.
anime, you're a fucking weirdo.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Now that right there was classism.
So, in a perfect world, shouldn't everybody just kind of just mesh with everybody,
no.
regardless of what you
No.
like
I
or
think
what
we're
you
still on a weird social experiment in America.
Mhm.
I think,
No.
like, weirdly, I think we're here to set what the world should look like in the future. Is it failing? I don't know. I think we're just going through the fire right now, personally. So, I think, like, we should be in harmony in theory, but, like, I think there's always going to be ebbs and flows to it as well.
See, but
I mean,
you
like,
know,
how
but
horrible and
I'm sorry.
boring would life be?
Yeah, go ahead.
How boring and horrible would life be if we all just like the same shit? You know what I'm saying? We was
Hey,
all into the same shit. It's a beautiful thing that we all have different hobbies and different things that we're
Mhm.
digging. It's just at no point should we down somebody else and say, I'm better than you because I do this.
Right.
You're beneath me because you don't do this, right?
Mhm.
Even if it's something that like you just cannot stand and I love, we should still be able to be boys about it. That's just something we can't gel on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if we talk about it, we can debate it, but from a all love standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. So and I was thinking when Izzo was talking about harmony, I mean, and Jason, this is probably music analogy you would get because harmony is, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it harmony like all of the same group, or is it harmonizing in return? In like, what exactly would harmonizing in a musical sense be? Because if you're bringing a whole bunch of different people together, are they all trying to be on the same note?
I think I'm not a musical person. I
Okay.
mean, and I'll let Jason and Izzo.
Yeah,
Izzo,
harmony
did
is
you play
not going to
music?
be. No, I
Well,
used
I
to
would
sing
think-
in chorus.
I
used to
would think
sing.
harmony would be
It's different
even though
notes that-
you're on a different tune or even though you're a different instrument, you still find a way to fit together.
Right. It's different notes that gel together, basically.
Mhm.
So that's kind of in the same realm of what we're kind of talking about here, is that all of us can still have different interests, but still kind of all blend. Because I mean, that's technically what the four of us are doing here now. Like we all have, we have similar interests and we have probably a similar value structure, but beyond that, each of us has kind of a different approach to how we look at things, and that's fine. Because if we all had the same outlook, then it'd be quite boring.
Yeah, and I mean, not
Yeah.
only that, but even on the similar interests that we have, we might have different perspectives on that interest.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes
Mhm.
it work. And it's also, I mean, think about it. If you have, I don't know, if the whole point of our group was to turn everything to the right, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know this is weird. but
Yeah, I
follow
was
me.
about to say we know that.
That's our
ain't the case,
whole.
but
That's
go
our whole
ahead.
group, right?
Whole other
We all
discussion
probably
there.
went like, what?
Not fresh, player.
What I'm trying, I don't know. If I don't know, what I'm
Just
trying to
follow
say
it.
is,
Let's flow with it. Flow with it. We get it. Flow with it.
you know, we all got to look at the situation differently, right? So let's say if something got in the way of us turning this whole thing to the right, and all of us looked at it exactly the same way, which was stopping us from turning it to the right, then we would never start turning it back to the right. But if one person stands out and says, hey, what we're doing, this turning it to the right is our common ground, but it's not working for us. So what if we do this instead? And another person says, well, that might work, but what if we do this? Then we might actually get it turning back to the right.
Right.
So
See what I'm saying?
classism would work in a sense if people would actually listen to somebody that's not necessarily in the class that they would originally hang out with, because there would be progress made.
I think classism still comes down to a superiority complex. I think
Yeah.
I think ultimately, like, racism, classism all kind of have that same general mantra that it's really about one group seeing they're superior because of some sort of demographic difference.
Mhm.
Yeah, not that classism would work if people would listen to one another, but classism would be non-existent if people would listen to one another.
Right. Because we'd all be on equal footing.
Right.
Huh. Interesting. But then if classism didn't work and everybody was on equal footing, we go back to what you said, wouldn't it be a boring world?
No.
Equal footing does not necessarily. I think when that's referring more to like a level of respect. I wouldn't say it's like we're looking at as if we all do the same thing. You know, you can have two completely different cultures, have two completely different approaches of how they do things, and then say, "Huh, okay," and that just be the way that you do things. I mean,
Right.
you know. I think
Absolutely.
I think it's more of saying that everybody has a certain level of respect and nuance to their own groups, and not saying, well, this way of doing things is not say this way, but you know, my group is better because of X.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
not looking at
you can be
somebody.
proud of being in that group, you know, and keep that in mind. It's
That
like,
that just something I heard today. I'm happy you said that. That's just like somebody said, was the last, probably heard it last night. It's just like you can be proud to be, like some people's like being proud to be white is somewhat problematic. And somebody's like, what does that mean? It's like, yeah, you can be proud that you're from England, you can be proud you're from Nova Scotia, be proud for that, but being proud of white, unfortunately, in the history of the world, that ain't a good thing to really say or feel, because we already know what white means in the grand scheme of things to classism in the world, especially Western culture. Well, hell, in Africa too. I didn't even think about that. But unfortunately, that goes across boundaries, because even in different societies, like a darker hue or a person with different hair, hell, even in India, like the people who are like very, very dark are looked down upon.
Mhm.
If you go look, like, you know what, like is a big thing they sell there? Freaking bleaching cream.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell, you can even look here, the socioeconomic thing here with this year and how the tax reform went, how people were all giddy, like, yeah, these taxes about to look good. I'm about to be shining on y'all, like the white people, of course, unfortunately. And then when they got their tax return, they found out they were just like the rest of us, getting fucked in our taxes. They weren't in that tax bracket.
Yeah, those are the people, and I'm not going to sit here and say it was just the white folk. It was
No, but we
everybody
know,
that's
like when it
in-
came to the news and the stories.
Yeah,
I know that's
it
not
was
the
that
case.
1%.
Yeah.
That 1% usually lean to the right,
Yeah,
because for some reason they think leaning to the right makes them richer.
Fiscal
I mean,
conservatism, they think automatically goes that way, but it really
I was
doesn't.
about to say, kind of leaning to the right is kind of the nature of corporatism in and of itself.
Yeah. But it was that 1%, and there are some of us in that 1%. There are some of
yeah.
the
Not
Asians
me.
in that 1%, and now that
None
the
of
shit,
us.
and now that the shit's hitting the fan, it's like, you
You
kind
just
of
one of us.
just one of us, you know.
Us, Nick.
So that's that beautiful point when you can pay attention to classism and then see it bite people in the ass.
Yeah.
Because they realize that in when you break it down, you're really just a person that's a dick, you know. At that point, you're a dick. You're not even better than anybody else. So, and going back to what we talked about, how it started with the kids, I think that's one of the things that the schools don't teach people. They let them pick their little groups and cliques and stick with them and stuff, but they don't explain why that's important. They don't talk about how to work with other people outside of those cliques. So those kids grow up thinking that this is where it's supposed to be. We're supposed to pick the strongest and the brightest, and which you are. I mean, when you want to succeed, you want to pick the smartest and the brightest people with you. But there's something that the schools aren't teaching these kids. And then when they get of age, that's when they start getting into dangerous cliques. You know, the ones that actually will eventually bring them down or make them look like assholes in adult culture.
I want to ask Jason something. Why you sound like that? No, it ain't like let's you answer for white people. It got nothing to do with that. You being from Orangeburg and being a white person who got along with people, and they probably thought you probably lean black. White people probably think that. Like, did they look down upon you, or did you feel that way? That's what I'm trying to get the classism from within, because we know it happens within for black people. We know how that works.
So, number one, I have never fit into any mold or clique, right? So, I mean, I when I was in high school, I legit didn't have a clique or anybody to fit into because I was part of everybody's.
Yeah.
I would go hang out with, jocks here and my band nerds here and cheerleaders here and, people that, I would take up for people that was getting picked on over here. Because I never wanted to fit a mold like that. I never wanted to be boxed in to the stereotype of what somebody's supposed to be. So that's first and foremost. And that's just me, who I am. Right. And y'all know that.
Right.
But I guess to answer your question, I had black folk that looked at me and was like, why are you trying to be this way? And I had white people that looked at me and was like, oh, he's an N-word lover,
Who said
but
it?
also, huh?
Go ahead.
Go right on them next.
But I mean, on the other side of that, I also had white people that I guess you would look at and think was kind of uppity or redneck or whatever that I was really cool with. And they liked me for me, and likewise, I had black people and Spanish folks that were like, you know what? I don't care. I just like you because you're you. So I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, but I got it from all kind of angles, man.
No, you answered it better than I thought, because I didn't even think about the black people thing, just because I don't think that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm legit. If you can think about anything, I know I've always heard this. Me and Lance had a conversation like this a long time ago, and I think, and I don't know if his views are still the same, but a long time ago he said basically like I would never understand what it would be like to see racism firsthand, right? Like I could never understand as a white man the idea of being targeted for racism, but in reality I felt it so much more because I got it from every single side. So I mean, yeah, and I mean now given I'm not a black man and he's
I understand that piece, but I don't agree with the statement that he made. Like you definitely can.
Yeah, you can understand. You may not experience the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same nuance either, but you can definitely experience racism.
Correct.
Right. It's not the same. It's not the same because I'm not a black man and I'm not I don't have certain things coming my way. The history is not the same, right? But that doesn't mean that being who you are that doesn't fit a mold of what a stereotypical white man should be. Correct. That you're not going to see racism from white people, from black people, from Spanish and Asian folks that are trying to either kind of respond more to black people or respond more to white people. You're going to catch it from every single side that you can. So it's still racism. It's still experiencing it. It's just experiencing it from a different perspective.
The frustrating part is when you're growing up and you're trying to, identify with yourself or trying to find your identity and trying not to fit into a mold. Like Jason said, there are people that will try to forcibly put you in a class.
Yeah.
Because you grew up a certain way or because you know certain people or because you look a certain way. There are people that won't let you be an individual.
Yeah.
And this little sneaky things they say to try to push you back into this box that you're supposed to be in. So not only is classism is a problem, but forcible classism is tremendously wrong because people don't even have to know you.
Right.
But they'll go ahead and create an entire lifestyle for you
Yeah.
And then just that's you to them. And there's nothing you can do, no way you can talk, no favors you can do, no way, no level of success that you can reach without being put into that stereotype or that box.
Exactly, because I mean, I'm thinking about even back because I'm from Orangeburg as well, and I'm thinking back to when I was in grade school, and because I enunciated, it was like, well, you talking white, and it's like, why do I have to be? Why does it have to be that way? Like, why is actually having a fair command over the English language being seen as something wrong as a person who is Black?
Yeah, I got that all the time.
Especially because look at it. So me and Rich from the same spot, different sides, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Different areas, different sides. But I definitely don't have the command over the English language, as my man said, like he does. And in reality, I don't even. That's not a white black thing. That's a where you raised thing.
Thank you.
So I mean, where I was raised was just a little bit more out there in the boondocks, a little bit more country,
Right.
And I mean, that's just, I don't know. I made this comment before, as we went through high school and in college and whatnot. I almost started to lose my Southern accent because it was kind of taught that it was like the way you sound is ignorant, right? You would never be seen as intelligent because you sound that way, which is bananas to me. Because just because we was born in South Carolina in the South does not mean that we're not intelligent. I'm a very intelligent brother. I might not sound like I'm from England or Britain. Well, I guess that's all UK. I may not sound, perfectly English, whatever, but that doesn't mean that my intelligence is any less. I mean, would everybody on this panel say that some like T.I. is an intelligent dude?
T.I. uses too many words,
but honestly, if you actually listen to it, and if you break it down, they actually do make sense. I get shocked.
Right.
It actually went.
He's
together.
a smart brother, right? He's a smart brother. I don't even believe my man.
Yeah, I ain't mad at him. Hey,
no, not at all.
My point, what I'm trying to say is,
it was rough.
One, he's got a very Southern language as well, right? Two, I'm pretty sure my man didn't even graduate high school. I could be wrong with that, but I don't believe he did. He might have got his GED later in life. But on top of all that, he is very intelligent, smart dude. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I mean, and even like I said, even as an adult, I run into stuff still,
Really?
And something will happen, and yeah, absolutely, something will happen.
Oh, you're not talking about the talking. You're talking about racism type or classism type?
It's the whole classism. You're supposed to be a certain way because you grew up a certain way type situation, and it's more frustrating now that you're an adult, because at this point you've proven something.
Yeah.
You're not a crackhead. You're not in jail. You don't have kids all over the place. You're proving something, but yet and still, you're supposed to be up on thug culture and, liquor and all this other stuff. I'm like, what about me is showing that I know anything about anything you're asking me?
That liquor bottle on your back thing.
I do know a little bit about liquor, but I'm saying that's because you know me. Well, people don't see that liquor bottle out on the street.
You see it on
it's
YouTube.
The weird questions. It's the weird questions that I get out on the street that annoy me. There was a shooting at this bar downtown. Brian, you ever been to that bar? The fuck? Why? Why you asking me specifically? Yes, but damn it, why? And that's the annoying part. And when you hear it in like your professional world, you already know that's holding you back. And you have done nothing wrong. You've done nothing to prove to these people that you're a thug or a gangster or anything. But automatically, since they have this idea about you, you can almost guarantee that there was something at some point that should have catapulted you forward, but you weren't pushed that way because of what people think. or because of what people believe about you. That may be
Yeah.
completely wrong.
This will probably kind of go to your point about forcible classism too. Like I said, I hang out with everybody, I always have, and I know multiple times because I befriended somebody that was seen a certain way or had a certain reputation, somebody else immediately thought that I was just like that person, right? Or I was that person. Until they get to know you, and then they're like, "Oh, you know what?" And then this is it's supposed to be a compliment, but it's almost a smack in the face when someone says, "Oh, I thought you was like such and such," and I don't know that dude. So you're trying to say that I'm better than that person now, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's a backhanded compliment too. But it's forced. You're forced into a class. You're forced into a perspective or idea of who they thought you were.
Which may in turn benefit you.
Yeah.
I mean, is anything wrong with reaping the benefits of somebody thinking that you're better than another class?
I'm laughing because some people, not nobody on this panel, but some people have been doing that for how many years America's been here? That's why I giggled.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting though. That's it. That's
I'm like,
interesting.
And that's not everybody. It was some people.
Like, let's say your boss comes
at
up and be like,
all.
"Hey, Brian, you've been working for so long and you've been working in the back with these guys. You're not like those guys. You don't talk like them. You don't hang out. So let's make you assistant manager because I think
would bother me because a lot of those guys would probably be my family members.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you're boosted up in the professional world to make more money.
Yeah.
Shorter hours.
Well, I guess
So,
my
is
question would
it-
be is once
Go
you
ahead.
take that promotion, what do you do to
Uplift.
right to turn that around and correct that system?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, if you take a promotion and then you turn around and look back down on your people that you were working side by side and you point the finger down on them like, now I'm better than you, then you're just part of the system. You're a problem.
Right.
But if you take that promotion and you reach your hand down and you help those people out back up, and then you continue that cycle, they continue that cycle, then we get a few steps closer to not having this classism issue.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's so much easier to put people down than lift them up.
Yeah. I mean, but is it
only
wrong
people I put
to
down is y'all, and it's when I'm joking, and that's just because I love you.
Well, let's say, is it wrong to ride that road of negativity until you get to a point where you can change the route?
Yes. It's very
No.
wrong.
Is
I
it?
mean, yes.
Is it though?
Yeah, I would say that it is. Because if you are achieving some level of power as you're going along, the old adage is, absolute power corrupts absolutely. What makes you think that if your learned behavior over time to do exactly what you do, just keep stepping over people's heads to get where you are, what makes you think that 30 years later, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and the switch is gonna get flipped, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start making the world right? It's not gonna happen because you're embedded in that system. It's kind of like when people talk about politicians. Many of them start out with the right ideas, with the right attitude, with the right approach, and then eventually what happens is they kind of go a little bit to the other side, taking that little extra money to get what they need, and then slowly but surely,
absolutely.
And yeah.
But he didn't say stepping on other people's heads. He said taking advantage of classism is what he said. So, I mean, it's just like Jay-Z said, like, how can I help the poor if I'm one of them, right?
Yeah,
so I got rich, I gave back. Now that's a win-win.
Right. Yeah, but
So you can't.
But I think if you're saying, okay, so if you're saying like riding the wave, that's one thing. But if you're riding the wave, you're also not doing anything to bring anyone along with you. You see what I'm saying?
But his question was, ride it to a point that you can do something to fix the system.
I mean, but I think if that's
what he's saying
sure.
is,
yeah,
right. What he's saying, what his question was if I level up, right, And let's say there's there's levels to this shit. So I level up, and I'm not at a level where I can reach my hand back yet. So I level up again, and I still can't. So I level up again. Now I can finally reach back and start doing something.
But please know in that time, it's going to be those haters. It's going to be those crabs in the barrel that's like, yo, fuck that motherfucker. He ain't reach back. Just know that's going to happen.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of like a very tricky approach to it.
But I understand what he was saying.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Once you explain that way, I definitely see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, by
So
that
what
logic, I say no. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, as long as that when you get to that point, you're willing, or you, even if you're not willing, you reach back and you do what you gotta do to try and bring the next man up.
Mm-hmm. Like, what if on the way up, and this may very well put you in jeopardy, but on the way up, you kind of keep in contact and let these guys know what the plan is. That may work because you're keeping that line of communication with these guys and know that, hey, I still see you guys, but you got to let me do this. But then on the flip side, they see you still communicating with these people when you're trying to take advantage of the system, and it may end up hurting you.
That's always a possibility.
Won't win them all, man.
As I was about to say,
lose people along the way.
At the end of the day, everything's about risk, especially in business.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna lose people along the way, but those people that's been really down with you from day one, that you've been down with, they're gonna trust in you. And when you get to that point, those are the ones you can bring up.
Yes, sir.
Cost benefit analysis, man.
Life is fucking complicated.
Yeah, right.
Like we have it already learned that now.
Game.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's a chess game.
Relationships, everything you think of.
Mm-hmm. Because at some point, somewhere, you have to take advantage of the system.
Yeah.
You have to, unless you know how to make money, like print it.
That is
You are
very
gonna have
true.
to-
You can't. People are gonna hate this. People can say that they're anarchists, they're outsider, they're a rebel, but at some point, for you to be fiscally sound or to just be successful, you have to go. Damn it! I got to play by the rules.
Yeah.
You unfortunately you do.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of when you the comment you made earlier, Brian, that made me sit back and say, "Wow, that's interesting." You know, me being someone that doesn't fit into a box, right? I can get along with almost anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I never really turned and thought about how being able to chameleonize, making up words, myself would could potentially benefit me, right? I never really thought about that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that I've been in situations before. I mean, I'm sure I've been in situations where it's been like, you know, all black folk and just me, and somebody was like, who is this dude? You know, who is this cracker honky over here or whatever? And me being who I am
I never said that.
benefited me because, yeah, I'm sure you did. Benefiting me.
Grape soda.
Man, you gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. Oh man.
You better not never run for office. This motherfucker said.
He said black folks would love some grape soda. Anyways, but I'm sure that like I've been in a situation like that, and then me being who I am has benefited me with some, you know, some people who came to my back and was like, no, hold up, this is the one white dude you're not gonna do that with, you know, or you know, vice versa. I'm sure that's happened in all kind of places in my life, and I just never thought about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. I'm sure that it benefits people.
Yeah.
It does. It does. But I mean, it does take a strong-willed person, somebody that's steadfast in what they're trying to do, to say, I'm willing to take an L because I'm not willing to sell myself short or sell myself out. Because sometimes it's blatant. You know, if you do this, we can move your head. And sometimes it's subtle. The blatant stuff is easy to say no to because whoever comes to you like that, you can probably see the horns, you know. Say, hey, if you stop doing this or do this or whatever, you know, we'll go ahead and put you 3 steps ahead of everybody else. That's easy to say no to because that's just selling your soul, and you can tell. What you laughing about?
Because in my head, all I'm seeing is Lil Nas X, and I'm seeing somebody coming to him saying, if you make this country song about taking your horse to the old town road, you're gonna be blah blah blah.
I think that was all him.
I think that was all him.
See, that's what he.
I think he did it to
them horns
be
work
funny. No, I think he did it to be funny, and it blew up. And then he played the game.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I ain't
it's
mad
all right
at
to
him
ride.
anyway.
It's all right to ride the roll of negativity if you in your own car. You know,
he had his big brother show up.
Yeah,
and that changed the game for him.
Yeah. So now he's performing this thing in front of 10,000 people, screaming his name. But yeah, I like you said, you gotta play the game, and I think a lot of people, that's that two-way street type situation. Play the game, sell out. Don't play the game, stay in the same spot you in for God knows how long.
Part of me, like I agree, but then at the same time, it's like it's a very tricky way to do that, because I think in a sense, I think if you play the game, you're in a sense, it's almost like playing chess, if you will. Like you're lining your pieces up to go ahead and and check someone. I think that's when you say playing the game is doing that. But if you're just kind of going along for the ride, if you're if the systems that are in place for you to do the things that you need to do to get ahead, and you're just kind of moving along with it, I mean, that's another way of looking at playing the game. But I think there's two ways to kind of approach it. Like, are you trying to be disruptive, or are you trying to be complicit? And I think to Izzo's point, like, if you really want to become, like, in a sense, with a financial security, if that's the end all be all goal, I think there is a level of disruption that you have to do. But in some ways, disruption in the status quo is keeping up with the Joneses, is not doing these things that people do that just happen to be what we define as like the social norm. I think right now is like we just kind of get into this mode of, oh, these are the ways that you're supposed to go about doing things, and you just go do them because person said X. It's like, if you even think about like how many people would have thought about college, like many of us probably, if we would have thought about it like legitimately, would have probably approached college completely differently than how we actually wound up doing it throughout. So I think when we say play the game, I think there's a level, like, either you can be complicit or you can be disruptive. But I think there is a way to kind of manipulate the system in and of itself.
Yeah. You can go along with everything that you're told to do, but then still kind of do things your way,
right?
To the point where you're making them feel like you got yourself there and they fall under your command. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So there is a way to do it without shucking and jiving and putting white gloves on. Dancing on top of tables in front of a bunch of executives. I saw that video. So there's a way to do it, and there's a quick way to do it. But most of the time, I think what happens is people have the same idea. I'm gonna play the game and I'm gonna get where I need to be, and that's when people get stuck for 10, 15 years. No offense to anybody in the call center, but stuck in the call center at the very first tier.
Damn. Now we can't have nobody that work in the call center on the show.
Oh man,
that'll get rid of a lot of people.
I almost said that, but you're right.
Look, call centers are great. They teach you things. They teach you how to deal with people. They teach you patience, and there are avenues to get out of those call centers and get better occupations and better jobs in that same company. But a lot of times, people get comfortable.
Call centers teach you how to work like a dog sick. That's what they teach you. or they teach you how to use or abuse FMLA.
I laugh. There's so many people I know have done that. That is hilarious. That was real shit right there, Jason.
That was. Yeah. I went through that whole thing.
Yeah, me too.
January come around, you got 20 hours of FMLA. I'm gonna hold it to August. Yeah. January 15th, you out of it.
I was the dumbass hard worker that was sitting there pulling everybody else's shifts, but nobody else showed up because they was all out on FMLA, and I'm the only person on my team taking calls.
Yeah, I think
Bastard ass.
everybody should work in at least one, just to get. Do you think? Okay, here's something.
Retail, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. On the road of being an adult, is there any position or any kind of job that you think everybody needs to do in order to get a greater understanding of what life is about?
Service.
Something in customer service.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it's food, I prefer retail's cool, but I prefer them to do food to where they feel like they're at the mercy of somebody, because that's the closest you come to it.
No, I don't want to. I don't think everybody should be fixing my food.
No. I've done it already, so I'm good. We're good. All of us are good. All four of us are good. I know we've all done food, so we're good.
Right.
The rest of them can do it. I ain't doing it again.
And I was
I'm just saying that I don't think every single person should ever touch the food that I eat. You know what I'm saying?
No. I'm not saying they got to touch the food, but like, let's say if they're just a server or something, it's just even if they're the busboy, they need. It's like that bottom feeling. They just need to feel like what it feels like.
Damn it. Yeah, just cut his mic real quick.
Yeah, you're gone. Get out. Come out.
Yes, I can go watch the game.
Hey, this might be the first show that I didn't get kicked off of first.
But it's true. That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
I feel everybody needs to do fast food. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't mean one of them cushy.
I'm good.
I don't mean one of them
Everybody
cushy.
needs to do fast food, but only if it's with Chick-fil-A.
You need to go to
It
McDonald's.
counts, but
they count as fast food.
no, it counts.
At least Chick-fil-A, at least they'll teach people how to
to shut the fuck up and just say, what is it?
like
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Sir, Mr. Jonathan, you are right. You're supposed to get 5 free chicken sandwiches a day. My pleasure.
No, Chick-fil-A's out. Chick-fil-A is out. I need you to work.
Give you
I need you to work for a horrible manager
at Popeyes. No,
I need you to work with a horrible manager, with a horrible schedule, and horrible people working with you. I need you to work.
That smells like Burger King.
That sounds like forced classism.
That smells like. Oh, what we just did?
Yeah, that sounds like forced classism.
Every time since I worked at Burger King.
Oh shit! I forgot you did work at Burger King.
Yeah,
I bet you had dreads when you were slipping in burgers too.
Did they make you wear a cap?
I seen the pictures. I know you ain't had no facial hair, so you was good without the chin one. So.
I have a different level of respect for people that work in fast food restaurants because of that.
But see, I think that's in general. Like you have some. If you work in a service capacity anywhere, I think you just have there's a certain level of empathy that you get from doing that, because you realize it's like, even when you come in, you're not having a great day. You have to deal with this person. They're asking you questions. They're pissing you off. You're explaining it to them 5 times and they still don't get it because it's not the thing that they want. You're going through all of these different emotions, and you still have to be, you just have to handle them with grace and kindness, or at least you're supposed to, until that switch goes off, and then you're like, all right, F this, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be mandatory for every person to work at McDonald's fixing ice cream machines. That way, them bitches will never be down.
Half the time they're not down; they just don't want to clean them.
But the beautiful thing about working fast food when you're in high school, is by the time you're in high school, you already have your classes, your classism thing down packed. I hang with this person. I hang with this person.
Right.
You go work at a restaurant, all those people are working with you.
Correct.
So you're meshing the classes together. So you learn how to deal with different people who might not have talked to you outside regularly until you're at that restaurant, and you're forced to communicate.
Agreed.
But then it's just a whole nother level of classism, because the people working at Chick-fil-A is like, we better than you, Burger King.
I mean,
and then Burger King is like, at least our ice cream machine work, McDonald's.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said,
And the people that working at Hardee's is just over there like, fuck, nobody even knows we alive.
You know what, man? I actually like Hardee's, man.
Hardee's.
I like Hardee's. I dig Hardee's too, man.
Shit, I ain't had Hardee's in 5-6
every
years.
time I go to Hardee's, it smell like bleach, so you know they clean.
Right.
And it's only one person working in that bitch at a time. So you know your food is cooked like as soon as you order it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I've been waiting for this my whole life.
You're so stupid.
Hardee's ain't necessarily fast food no more, but that should be cooked right there in
But
front of
it's
you.
good. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
think
clean because they've been so damn bored that they didn't clean the whole restaurant 4 times before you pull up.
you just know where you don't want to be anymore at that point.
And that's
I want to get to
McDonald's.
a certain level where I don't have to come back to Burger King. I never want to do fast food again. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have those experiences, but I will never do fast. I will never prep food again.
Hell no.
Brian, you never say never. I will never clean fry bins again. But you learn.
I'm about to end classism right now. I'm doing really well in my job, my career. I've done really well in previous jobs. But if life handed me a crazy ass fastball that I couldn't hit, man, I'd be flipping burgers in a heartbeat to make ends meet.
Right.
So you already had your humble pie in the beginning, so
I don't know. Well, it'll be different if I was in your situation.
I mean, it's even
Oh,
that
yeah.
slang dope. I mean, you know.
oh, I thought you were about to say slang dick. I was like, oh no.
You like being on the bottom?
Brian is wrong.
or better yet, slang dope out of Burger King.
We know that has happened.
Yeah,
Not with you, Brian.
Like
Just
I
saying.
said, horrible managers.
Oh,
It's a whole bunch of people slanging dope out of Burger King.
yeah.
Just the manager. Like, are you really selling drugs? Shut up.
Like
Yeah,
that ain't hard to
I want a
track.
number 5 with a little
Come
bit of spice.
That's funny.
They ordering numbers that ain't on the menu yet. Let me get number 32.
I need that number 27, please.
Yeah, you can't do that now because all that stuff is tracked. Because some of those places, if like the line gets too far backed up, it actually goes to a call center. Some places, I know Chick-fil-A does it because I've talked to the manager before. Because he said one morning they kept triggering to the call center and not here.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they got call centers for those.
Call center that take orders.
For the restaurants.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
just-
dumb.
Oh, y'all didn't know that?
No.
You just broke the podcast.
yeah, that's a real thing. I knew it before he told me, but yeah, it's confirmed. Like it's used locally too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's why when you get up there, your order's all fucked up because somebody just took the order somewhere else.
Not knowing like what's really on the menu. It's just
Right.
some person who probably goes to school and just came in off a bender.
Oh man. Oh, that's
Like,
terrible.
I'm sorry, that was racist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm happy I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
You said it really low, so
I
we can
didn't
just
hear that
keep
either.
we can keep the whole show moving.
But
All I know
anyway,
is Golden State's up 7 in the third, near the end of the third quarter. By the way, without KD,
okay.
I'm watching it.
No KD in this bid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We can talk about classism later if we want to, but we're gonna move on. Damn, we talked about that for 55 minutes.
And that's the whole
Damn.
show. We might as well go watch the game. That's it.
Yeah, we might as well what?
Watch the game. Remember you said you kicked me out? Like, yes, I'm about to go watch the game.
Let's talk about some music real quick here.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll come back to this. Prince got a new album coming out, and these people, it's only coming out on Tidal.
I want that
Oh.
shit.
And they're doing this thing where if you want to get the album, you can sign up for Tidal for 90 days and then get the Idol. So what happens after that? You get the album.
It automatically charges your phone.
No, I mean, after the 90 days, you cancel Tidal. Do they take the album back?
I don't know. Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, you asked me that question the other day and I forgot to respond. I remember I did it because of that Kanye the Pablo album, and I remember I listened to it. But the thing is, it jumped to Google Play or Spotify or whichever one I was using at the time, so I didn't need it. So I'd never got to see if you could download it and keep it. So I did not know the answer.
I got a question.
Mhm.
So why y'all all respond like that?
Because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're like,
So Prince is so rich that he's still making albums in heaven.
No, this is the thing.
Man, act like you don't know about Pop put out 37 albums now.
Well, this is the thing.
right.
I can't believe that Brian's about to try and respond to me so seriously.
Well, no, the thing is, like, songs that Prince didn't want out. Okay, these
Yeah, I
are
know.
cuts that would have never released. He didn't leave a will, or they didn't say he left it. They said he didn't leave a will. I think there's one. So with him not leaving a will, it leaves everything to who? The record company, or who has his
The sister, I think, is in charge of the estate right now.
sister?
All royalties should go to the I believe the next of kin. So
the royal-
whoever's alive that's next of
His
kin. So
parents, I don't
parents,
think his
sister.
parents are alive.
I
Not
mean,
to my
like,
knowledge. Maybe his mom. I don't think his dad is.
So
he wasn't
knowing,
married at the time, right?
knowing that Prince didn't want certain things happen to his music, they did it anyway. They released all this. They released his vaults. They gave commercial rights to all these companies so they can use his music for commercials.
I did feel some type of way when I heard shit in the commercial. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, because there's something special about your music when you can only listen to it at certain times or certain ways.
Mhm.
Start commercializing stuff, it kind of loses something. So they open his vault, and I guess these are songs that other people he wrote for other people, but he sang.
Mm-hmm.
What you wait. You mean like how Babyface does the concerts and he sings like the songs he wrote for other people? That what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like I posted last night. Like Nothing Compares to You is like one of my favorite Prince songs, even though like people really don't know it but from Sinead O'Connor.
Right.
Mhm.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So these are songs that he's doing. He wrote for other people. So this is the album that's coming out. And I want it.
See, damn it. Now you got me wanting it. I didn't know what it was about. Fuck.
Yeah.
I love Prince. I'm sorry.
So at this point, what do? You go ahead and get Tidal?
I ain't stealing it. I can tell you that. I'll never steal a Prince.
I mean,
I have ethics.
There's a certain way about it. Because, man, if an artist didn't want something released, why would you release it? Like, if that was something, I get that because it's part of his estate and whoever has control over the rights can do whatever they want. But I don't know, out of respect for that person, if they didn't want that stuff released, if that was something that you knew in their heart that they did not want put out,
well, nobody really knows the relationship between him and his family.
Yeah, because he was very, very, very private.
Yeah,
very private.
Nobody knows anything about Prince's life, which is probably why he stayed famous as long as he did. Because
we still haven't gotten a lot of stories other than like simple stories people had their own interactions with him. But like inside the walls of Paisley Park, nobody really knows much of anything.
Because he was probably a dirtbag. Nobody will ever know.
Probably do not talk about that man like that.
But I'm saying nobody will ever know because unless they know stuff that they're waiting to bring out, it's never come to the open.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like if you know that artist didn't want that stuff out, don't put it out. I mean, if he did, then great. If he's like, hey, when I'm going, go ahead and knock it out.
But I think we've probably passed this so many times already when it comes to like, I'm a big Nirvana fan, and I'm not gonna lie, every time they come out with something Nirvana with different tapes from like 87 before their Bleach album came out, I'm not gonna lie, listen to the shit. Shit, you probably got like Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and Marvin Gaye and all that stuff. We've probably heard and didn't even know that was the stuff that came out after they died. So I feel it's just that it's current to us. I have a feeling it probably happened before tons of times. Hell, look at Elvis.
Most likely this is somebody's way of just capitalizing off of just making money.
No doubt.
That's all it is.
They're gonna make $1 million off this album.
Yeah, like
even
Michael
if
Jackson. Go ahead.
Even if it's bad, if it's just Prince doing Alphabet, people are gonna buy it.
Hell yeah.
Prince, and they'll never hear this music.
Got a song called Alphabet Street. Why wouldn't it?
I mean, Papoose did the alphabet. That shit was fire.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, since I done switched the whole game, have y'all paid attention to Black Thought, Ninth Wonder?
No,
Yeah, I haven't listened to the second incarnation of it. Isn't there the second one out?
Yeah, the Streams of Thought Volume 1 and Streams of Thought Volume 2.
I haven't listened to the second one.
I didn't know the
both
second one.
of them. Both of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, one
Yeah.
that first track on one was
Bruh.
godlike.
Golly.
Yeah, speaking of that, I listened to Joe Budden podcast, and they were at the Roots Picnic. They did a session there, and they talked about just like they were like, God damn, Black Thought rap for like 2 hours straight, and everything was fire.
Yeah, they did.
Like he did a
Gorilla
live
Monsoon rap.
mixtape with somebody.
Oh,
I can't remember
really?
what it is. And they actually did. They played "Things Fall Apart" with everybody live at that thing too. I was
Wow.
like, I want to hear that. I want to be a fly on the wall for that shit.
Black Thought also went in on not Sway.
Sway,
No, not Sway. What damn.
Envy,
No, where my man? Ah.
Big Boy.
Yo, Black Thought. I'm talking about like he just
went on a
it was
who?
like 10 some odd minutes long of him just spitting fire.
Oh, Funk Flex. I thought you were talking
Yes,
about he was
Funk
talking
Flex,
shit
my
about
man.
somebody. My bad.
No,
my
no,
bad.
no.
Funk Flex. Yeah, I remember that. That's a little bit over a year ago. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. He had the internet on fire for like 2 weeks.
That dude, man.
Mm.
I didn't mean to
Yeah,
kill the
that's
Prince convo, but
No, I don't think this was so much about Prince. I had brought this up earlier. Go ahead.
I think the topic was more about how do you feel about
Exclusivity.
what do you say?
Exclusivity between TV, film, and music when it comes across these streaming platforms. Because we're at a point right now is where yes, we know cable and satellite is like I get it, guys. Y'all expensive. But if I gotta pick between if I'm gonna pay my cable bill and pay my lights and water, like come on, we already know what's gonna happen. To where we're at the point where people are doing a Netflix or another streaming service, and that's it. So, what services we pick? Are we liking the streaming services idea? Because it's like, yeah, CBS All Access has Twilight Zone. That's one of my favorite shows of all time. But guess what? I ain't buying it. I don't need another streaming service. So I'm gonna figure out another way to watch it.
You know what, man? I
Izzo
think
gonna be caught up on all his favorite shows, but stank as hell. That's what's gonna happen.
What are you talking about? Not me, because I'd never finish series anymore. I'll start one season and it's like, oh shit, all right, I'll watch another time and don't.
So the way I see it is that Netflix, and I had a conversation about this with someone else, is that Netflix, streaming in general, like, and to use the TV example, Netflix changed the way we watch television, but did not change what we watch, right? So if you think about it, think about all the shows on Netflix, right? Netflix originals, and I know we talked about this in a sense last week, Netflix originals aren't really hitting on much. Like, they're good, but they're nothing's great. I think ultimately what's going to wind up happening is that all of these movie studios and whatnot, because Disney's able to do it, everybody else is going to do it too. So watch, like, Universal's going to make theirs, Paramount's going to do theirs. It's like, oh, for like $5 a month, you can watch all the Paramount movies you want. Or, and I think that's going to become the norm. So
They want to see bottom line first.
It's right. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to start to see like all of these exclusive deals, these streaming deals eventually are going to wind up going to the wayside on the TV side. Now for music, that's different because I don't think as a consumer, I think it's just because of the licensing rights and the way that it works, it's probably just going to be simply easier to where you just have like one music service that not everybody uses, but one music service that kind of rules
fuck around
them
and
all.
be iHeart at that point.
Right. I think that's ultimately what's going to want to be. And so like, but the reality of it is that Google Play Music and whatever Apple's thing's called now, those two are probably going to be the bigger ones because the install base is already there and they're native into the operating system that people are using. So, so I think that, would it be a problem for people to use like a streaming service back and forth between all these different platforms? I think it's fine. I think it does it sucks because you got to buy something else, because
Yeah, I just feel like you're stacking when you break it down. It's like I've already paid, let's say 2/3 to 3/4 of what I was paying before with my internet. Like, why am I doing this?
because they know that you'll buy it, and that's the whole purpose of it. It's nothing more than just corporate greed.
But my thing is, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Oh no, but my thing is step up what you have. So it's all about competition. I feel like there's not as many companies out there, and it's kind of like they're all in a coup to get our money that way. And I think it's kind of annoying. Like, step up your competition. Hell, right now I feel like Disney and Comcast gonna own everything when it comes to TV at the end of the day.
Oh,
so there
pretty
ain't
much.
gonna be no competition.
Yeah, there's no question. Disney's gonna pretty much be like they're gonna wield the Infinity Gauntlet of media.
Yeah. I just think they need to step up the game and we get a better FCC people. But that'll never happen. People just get given that job. I don't think people know that.
You want to work for the FCC? You're hired.
For real, they're just given that job, man.
But they put the wrong people in those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think ultimately it's gonna come down to like you're gonna have like I think with TV, it's gonna happen. We're gonna have like let's say in the next 10 years, we'll probably have close to like 6 different streaming services. I mean, hell, like we already so you got Netflix is probably the biggest one, then Hulu, and then Disney Plus is going to pretty much be the new kid on the block that's going to have an install base just large because people are like, I can watch every Disney movie ever except for Song of the South. Oh, sign me up. So there's that. And then you got HBO Now, HBO Go, CBS All Access, ESPN. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just got. I mean, I think we're gonna have like close to 10 different. I can easily see like 10 different streaming services just because companies gonna figure out like, nah, we can make an app.
Yeah, that's like right now I'm at 3 because Prime, Netflix, and I do love HBO.
Prime doesn't count though.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm at 2. Am I at 2?
You get Prime
because you automatically get it. Yeah. So I'm at 2, Netflix and HBO, because I love HBO content and I love their documentaries. To where it's like I used to cancel it between the time Insecure and Ballers come back, but I've just kept it because they've had great content the last 2 years. So.
I'd have to say that I got Hulu and I haven't gotten rid of it yet.
No, Hulu was great. I got rid of it just because I wasn't watching it, but I know it's stepped up its game a lot. And I kind of want it back just because all the shows I used to watch, I never home to catch them, really.
Yeah, Hulu's actually
free with
Spotify?
With Spotify.
That's dope.
So I have Hulu.
Oh shit! Did the game go off on my phone?
Once Disney Plus goes live,
God
you're gonna be able to get a package with Hulu too as well.
So. God damn it!
Game off?
God damn it! No. My phone I think. And no, it wasn't messing with the screen. It just timed out. It's still on. I'm about to see right now. Yeah, you're up 6 in the fourth quarter.
It'll just be somebody's going to need all the streaming services. And the thing is, it's like they're not even putting out low budget crap. You know, they're putting out legit shows with legit legit studios. Graphics and all this other stuff it's like network television.
That's like Marcus talking about that. Oh, go ahead.
No, it makes you want to get the streaming services.
That's true. But yeah, you talk about all the money they spend. Like Marcus talked about that show, The Crown. I haven't watched it, but he showed me a trailer of it. Yeah. That shit looks so expensive and extravagant. I'm like, the fuck?
Well, see, some of the networks they overextend themselves, which is what happened with the Swamp Thing show.
The fuck is that? I ain't never heard of
that. They
canceled
canceled that after one episode.
Well, guess who missed that? I ain't never heard of that.
It was too expensive. It was too expensive to produce. So they aired one episode and crunched the numbers, and it's like we can't do it. So they pulled it after one episode. That was last week.
Hell yeah.
That's what happened with that. What's the Get Down? That happened with that.
Is that what happened with the Get Down?
Yeah, they had a lot of unnecessary CGI shit they didn't really need. Personally, I used to kind of tell. I could tell stuff. Yeah, I could tell a lot of this stuff was CGI, and it's like, y'all. I have a feeling they just shot it in L.A. I'm like, y'all should have just shot it in New York. It probably would have came out cheaper because that CGI shit does not come for cheap.
Yeah, it was pointless. A lot of it was pointless.
Yeah, good story though. It felt
Oh.
like a Shakespearean type thing, especially how the
Mhm.
didn't the dad commit suicide at the end? Wasn't that what happened? If I remember right.
The Get Down?
Yeah, remember Giancarlo Esposito? Did he commit suicide or something at the end? Because his daughter was singing the secular music. Is that what happened, or he got killed? I can't remember.
He got killed, I think.
I just can't remember.
But
But
either
yeah.
way, yeah, it was a good show.
That was a very good show.
I enjoyed it. But the way they ended it, it was like it was supposed to end anyway.
Yeah.
So I really didn't expect another season out of that.
Yeah, I do like a lot of the people on the show ended up doing other stuff, so that did pop them off. Because isn't that the boy that's in the Pokemon movie?
Yeah, and I thought he was in a few movies, but yeah, he's in the Pokemon movie.
Oh, okay, cool.
Gotta catch them all.
All right.
That's enough for y'all to you. But anyway, anybody got anything you want to talk about real quick before we end this?
Oh man, that's good.
I don't know. Oh, R.I.P. I almost said Buckshot Shorty. You're not dead. R.I.P. Bushwick Bill.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. And I can't remember his name.
I understand, man. Bushwick, they said he had colon cancer.
Yeah,
Pancreatic.
something like that. Oh,
Pancreatic.
But he
pancreatic.
repeatedly to figure out what was going on with him, and they kept saying nothing.
Oh
Damn.
man. And pancreatic cancer is not. That's like the one cancer that like it usually winds up being the like the mortality rate on that one's extremely low.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're out there and you need, and it's time for you to get that check, keep going. Go to a different doctor. Go to the doctor as you can, because some of these guys, they just lose touch with humanity and they just running through it just because. So get checked.
Yep. You're right about that.
If you want to catch us on our other social media networks here, post the audio on iTunes, not Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, and YouTube, of course. So we'll be back next Monday with more content, more things to talk about. Thanks so much for letting us keep you company, and we'll holler at you later. Peace.